Well, there it is. There it is. We have it said YouTube sent me a thing saying traffic is high right now and that they couldn't have us go live when I hit go live. So,
are you sure we're live?
I don't know.
Yeah, we are. I just checked. We're live.
You're watching us. I know you like to watch yourself. I've seen the reflection sometimes out of your eyes. I can see that you're watching yourself.
If you're looking at my eyes that close,
very
it might be the wife might be a beard.
She'll be all right. She'll be all right. She's been trying to get rid of you for years, man. She's been trying. She hasn't been able to shake you. All right, look, let's go ahead and jump right into the fights last night. UFC main event in England. What do we call it? UK? We call it England. What are we calling it? I said England on the English channel, Paramount station. I said England.
Yeah, I don't. Listen. I'm an uneducated American, I guess. I don't know the difference between United
Connecticut
and England. But didn't you go to school in fucking Idaho?
I went to school in California, and then, and then I did go to high school in Idaho, which is it's got some of the best schools in the country.
I know, I bet it does. Absolutely, all six of you graduating class 8.
Six of us. How many people are in Connecticut? Like six, 7? Like,
there's a lot.
About is there really?
It's a spectacular state sandwiched between two of the most important cities in the world.
It's in the middle. It's like the
correct
middle.
Where do you think the New Yorkers live? Connecticut.
No, they actually they go to Jersey.
Fairfield County, Connecticut. That's where all the money is.
That's not where you were at, though.
I'm from Fairfield County, Connecticut.
Are you really? I thought you were from like
Newtown. We actually didn't have money. No, God,
you're from some shitty little.
That's Casinoville. Right? I'm from Newtown, unfortunately known for all the wrong reasons. Newtown, Connecticut.
Of course.
You're saying, of course, it didn't trigger.
What's
Sandy
Newtown?
Hook. Sandy Hook.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the same town.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, Sandy Hook.
You guys must have went through some wild times during the situation.
So we coached a club wrestling team. We held our practices at that school.
Wow.
Because we didn't have like a facility. It's not like here where there's facilities for everything. So our practices were at Sandy Hook Elementary School. We were there the night before. And I was like heading into work in the morning and just hearing it on the radio. And we just assumed there was like this crazy old guy that lived across the street from the high school. Wow. And high school kids would always park on his grass. And like the cops would get called constantly because he'd say he has a gun, whatever. Connecticut's weird where it's like, I know it gets like this liberal rep, but it's also like country and conservative at the same time. Like it has all of the above. And so I just assumed it was that guy making a scene, but it was not. It was a very different scene. No, it was crazy.
Yeah, there must have been some weird vibes going on when Alex Jones was out there talking about it being like a scam or something. It was like
it's crazy. So my Tiffany, my wife, Texan through and through, as is her family. And one of her brothers is a conspiracy guy. And for years, he's like, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. It didn't happen. It's a conspiracy. And like all the memes of like this little girl or this mom was here and here, you know what I mean? Like the same woman at 5 tragedies or whatever. And so then he came to visit and I was like, I'm taking you to the school. I'm taking you. Like, you can't I get it's easy to think it's not real when you live on the other side of the country and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will bring you. It's very real.
I'm not trying to like talk about the different. I want to talk about the differences between, but people that have never been somewhere or have never been to that location. Like I did this thing about gas prices in Texas. Like this was before the war started. It was like $1.86. And I was like, man, hey, these are great gas prices here. I moved from California where I was paying. When I left, gas was $6. When I left, it was over $6. It's now pushing $8 now. It's like $7 and a quarter right now where I live, where I used to live. And I posted
that's European prices.
That's fucking wild, man.
And they pay by the liter.
Yep. South Africa does the same thing. So then I basically was like, I posted that video. This was literally like, I don't know, 2 weeks before the war. People were like, oh yeah, but you live in shitty ass Texas. And I literally asked people, have you ever been to Texas? They're like, no.
Yeah. So how do you
know? Like, because you saw it on the news. Like, how do you know? And also too, I think per location in the country, right, suits someone else's needs. Like I really go ahead.
No, I cut you off.
I really was thinking about like moving to North Carolina. We looked at Texas. We looked in Florida. Like there was just places I'm like, look, Florida's not for me. And I don't do what you want to do in Florida, but Florida's.
We left Florida. We were in Florida for a little bit. And I was like, I don't want to raise my kids here.
And that's exactly that's the vibe I got. That's the vibe I got by being there, right? And then also too, I also didn't want to raise my kids around any fucking body of water, you need to be very concerned about your kids.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, we're definitely not near water.
Any body of water. It could be a pool. It doesn't matter. Like, don't get your kids near that body of water. So I went out there to play Bay Hill Golf Course one time with my executive assistant. Or sorry, my executive producer. And man, we were playing golf at Bay Hill, and they have there's obviously a lot of water there, and there's a huge alligator. Just
yeah.
He's missing one hand. They call him Stumpy. He's like famous because that's one of the courses they play for the PGA course tour. And he's just sitting there. I'm like, people are just walking past him, like, no big deal. As long as you don't get too close. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm good.
Yeah.
But
live where I met
in somewhere. It just bothers me that they're like, oh, that place is shitty. I'm like, you've never been here.
But there's also like, Texas can be shitty. It could also be amazing. Like, it's depends where you go. It's like everywhere else. It depends where you go and what you do. New York City is the greatest city. I will stand on that. The greatest city in the world. But there are parts of New York City that are just absolute disgusting. I took Jacob there, Indiana Jacob, right? He's been to Indianapolis, never really been to New York City, visited me in Connecticut. We took the train, went to New York City. And I'm like, we're walking this whole thing. You're going to see as much as we can. Like, it's massive. And like, this is beautiful. This is nice. This is amazing. Oh, look, there just happens to be, a street food fair right here. Then we go through, I don't know, some Subway, whatever. And there's just two bums fighting like crazy, yelling obscenities at each other. We just keep walking. And Jacob's like, what is one I'm like, yeah, don't look at him. It's New York. Yeah. Just keep moving. And you'll be fine.
We had it better in California, man. One of our guys, when YouTube first started getting popular, was fucking the guy that ran around doing bum fights.
Dude, bum fights in the 90s was wild.
Fucking wild, right? Like, and I wasn't into like the YouTube scene at the time, but man, bum fights was wild. And that started in California below some fucking bridge with bums.
Dude, giving
them In-N-Out burgers.
The greatest the greatest thing that ever came out of bum fight. If you guys don't know, and then I promise we'll talk about fights in Tuesday. Actually, this is kind of talking about fights. Bum fights was a thing in like the 90s. Maybe early
bum
2000s.
Fights were better than the fights last night. So go ahead, carry on.
I know it was exploitative.
Go ahead, carry on.
It was kind of fucked. They would go to homeless people and offer them like $5 or some food to just fist fight each other. And these are homeless people just beating the fuck. And they would record it, and you buy the VHS tapes, whatever. That guy went on Dr. Phil. Do you know all this?
No, I didn't know this.
Dr. Phil had that guy on, and the owner of bum fights, and he showed up dressed as Dr. Phil, a bald cap, dressed up, whatever, sits down, and Dr. Phil's like, why are you dressed like this? He's like, well, you exploit people for money, and I exploit people for money, so we're the same person. So I figured I would show up looking exactly like that, since we do the same thing. Shit. It was nuts. And I paraphrased, but that was he dressed exactly. Find the clip on YouTube. He dressed exactly like Dr. Phil on Dr. Phil's show. Wow. And was like, we both exploit people for money, so don't act like you're better than me. It was actually incredible.
Absolutely correct. Holy shit.
I think he took it a step further and was like, we both exploit mentally ill people for money.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was like, it was the biggest slam dunk in like 90s TV history at that time. It was incredible.
That's insane. And good on him for calling him out. Like, don't bring me on here thinking you're going to roast me and use your moral high ground and think that I'm not just going to say something back. No, that's freaking awesome.
Like, good on that fights guy. Was objectively shitty. Like, it was a disgusting thing to do. Like, it's a piece of shit move to make homeless people fist fight each other for $1. Like,
they got food out of it. They sometimes money.
Just buy him the food. Like, that's crazy.
What?
No, it's crazy, dude. It was those videos.
Think about this. There's a service. There's a service for everything.
Dude, you're not gonna convince me that it
wasn't. No, I'm telling you right now. Look, these guys.
As a teenager watching it, it was incredible. As an adult,
willingly for money or in exchange for some sort of.
These are not well people.
We do it, and we are considered to be real fighters. We're doing the same exact thing. He's just offered them a contract. The contract was the hamburger. That's what it was.
The only person that you could convince me of was actually not exploiting people was the Girls Gone Wild guy.
That guy was definitely exploiting that dude. Of course we can't exploit you for that because you're a freaking
being a horned up middle schooler at 10 o'clock at night when the Girls Gone Wild commercial started was like, somebody dialed in.
Somebody needs to check for Angela's name on the Epstein files.
Hands up.
Someone needs to check. Angela's name has got to be on the Epstein files.
What are you talking about? Dude, Girls Gone Wild was incredible.
I'm not saying it wasn't. But you're over here making an argument that dude didn't exploit those young females.
Of course he did, but that one I will support more than bums fighting each other.
Degenerate fan, MMA fan, I want to thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Am I the only one that felt MOSVAR Evloev was choosing to strike and could have taken Murphy down whenever he wanted? Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this first before we get into the actual fight breakdown. What was your do you think he could have taken him down earlier in the fight? Do you think I felt that he was afraid of getting tired and having to wrestle the whole time for 5 rounds because he's never had to go 5 rounds of wrestling.
And it's Ramadan. I agree with you. It's Ramadan.
Ooh, Ramadan just ended, but yeah, he was training during Ramadan.
The whole camp, yeah,
the whole camp.
So he, I agree. I don't think because there were people, because I put out a theory last year when there was a couple fighters like Carl Williams and a few other fighters that were like, "Hey, the UFC straight up told me to stop wrestling or they were going to cut me." Like 4 or 5 fighters came out and said that last year. So I talked about that openly. And even now we've seen them cut some boring fighters, even though they're winning, like we're not Fakhretdinov. So people were atting me yesterday being like, do you think he was told not to wrestle? And I was like, no, I don't think he was told not to wrestle. I think he's having success striking. It's not like he was getting destroyed. He's having some success striking. I think he's waiting to turn it on. He's worried about getting tired. The camp was during Ramadan. You know, like he's lulling Murphy into a false sense of confidence because the second that point was taken away, dude, it was crazy. Like the pace instantly, as soon as that point was taken away, the pace completely changed, started rest. Like it was just a completely different person instantly. It was crazy.
Yeah. I think that I felt like he was feeling to see what Leroy Murphy's game plan was, which is fine. I also felt like he was concerned about getting tired. Also in reality, Corey Anderson talked about this too. The UFC had told him multiple times, you need to wrestle. You're never gonna get a title shot. We're never gonna get you close to a title shot.
Yeah, I mean, boring is boring. Like straight up, boring is boring. And this is an entertainment sport. I
think standing when you're not the better stand-up guy is even more boring, which is what we saw last night. I would have rather have seen him wrestle.
I actually thought the main event was okay. I didn't think it was a boring main event at all. And obviously we got some controversy out of it. I didn't think it was a boring fight. I thought it was okay. It wasn't an absolute barn burner, but I thought it was okay. Obviously the MVP fight sucked, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. But that's how MVP fights. Anybody surprised that sucked? I almost got to be mad at Sam Patterson for not moving forward. Like that's how MVP. If you don't get in his face, he's not going to throw anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's obviously different ways to be boring, and if MOSVAR looked like Hamzat, people would be screaming that fight sucked, which I agree, it would have.
All right, so look, MOSVAR Evloev versus Leroy Murphy. Obviously, this is considered to be a #1 contender fight. To fight against Alexander Volkanovski to fight for the featherweight title. This is, and I said this last night on my reaction right afterwards, and I said this is why they never match up 2 #1 contenders or 2 guys that are 1 and 2 to see who fights for the title. This is why, because there's too much at stake. Both of them had never lost. That's 1. 2 is they know the title shot is on the line. And in third, which may not always line up, is that it's a contrast of styles. One is a wrestler, one is a striker. The striker is going to be very hesitant to throw strikes, and the wrestler is going to be very hesitant at getting caught coming in. So they're at the top of their game right now. This is why you never do it. This is the way they're going to fight. Almost all of them will always fight this way, and they'll fight conservatively because they don't want to lose the opportunity to fight for the title. They would rather see what the judges do. And then, unfortunately for Leroy Murphy, it worked against him. He had some good rounds, he had some good moments, but it just wasn't enough. And for me to top this all off, in no way was it a robbery. So please stop with the robbery bullshit. That's 1. 2 is they both left it up to the judges. And I think when the point got taken, to second what Angela said, is that once the point got taken, MOSVAR Evloev started finally fighting. It was literally instant. It was like he just pressed the button. It was like, okay. Yeah. And then he moved forward, just started bombing away. It was crazy. And he looks like he has power in his hands. He looks like he's got the ability to do damage. He just chose not to throw a lot of punches in the beginning of the fight in the first 2-3 rounds. How did you score this? How did you score this first? How'd you score the first round?
I'm definitely gonna forget round by round.
Okay.
So I'll just say how I scored the whole fight because I forget when the point was taken.
It was in round 4. was the point.
Okay, so 4 was the point?
Yes.
Okay, so all right, so now I'm good then. So rounds 1 and 2 felt like LERONE. Round 3 was LERONE, and then the last, 30, 45 seconds, MOSVAR had him down, was laying on him, like banging on him, whatever. Then the point was, so you could give that round to MOSVAR. Then the 4th round was a draw, 5th round, clearly MOSVAR. So I scored it a draw. I thought a draw was a fair score. I don't see how you give MOSVAR the decision. I don't. That means he won 4 rounds, 4 of the 5. So what are you giving him, round 2? I don't think he won the second round.
I don't think he won the second at all.
I don't think he won 4 of 5 rounds. That's a draw every time. I feel like a draw is a fair. Now, obviously, a couple things happened last night. The commentating team just kept insisting, oh, he needs a finish. He needs a finish. He needs a finish. There's no way he wins a decision. Yeah. So you hear that over and over and over for 10 minutes straight. You're going to convince yourself that that's the truth. That was never the truth, ever. And also, I think people watched a fight where they expected MOSVAR to be diving at legs. And because he wasn't diving at legs, people were convincing themselves that LERONE was winning. People were like, oh, they're still standing. LERONE won. They're still standing. LERONE won. But that's not the reality, because MOSVAR had a lot of success in the striking. So I think if you remove the point deduction, it is 3-2. Very clear win for MOSVAR. Nothing to debate about. Once you take the point away, to still give him the decision gets a little like, are we serious? Because I don't think he won 4 rounds, but I certainly think, he did a lot better than people are saying, because people are screaming, this is one of the worst robberies I've ever seen. No, it's not. First of all, MOSVAR was the better fighter. He won more minutes in a 25-minute fight. He was winning the striking towards the end. He certainly, when he wrestled, had the takedowns, had the control. He was the one moving forward. And I know, did they ever say what the hell happened to LERONE's hip? Like all of a sudden, his hip just broken halfway through this fight. What the hell happened?
But did you see when he was? If you were looking at his left hip, there was like a little black tassel hanging out. So I don't know if he was trying to push that back in or whatever it was, but there was like a little black, looked like maybe like a cloth or rubber, or a piece of rubber or something that was hanging out of his shorts. It was probably, I'd say, about 3 inches.
Well, you're talking about like discomfort with clothing. Or they were saying like his hip was like dislocated or something.
Yeah, it did seem weird. What happened was, I don't know if you remember, is that he got taken down against the wall. When he went, MOSVAR did the step behind and pulled him back. He got taken down. His foot got
That was
stuck.
the third. Was that the third round? Was that when it turned right at the end?
That was like towards the end of the 3rd round. Yeah.
I think that was what shifted all the momentum, basically, is when he got dragged over the legs.
And so he got dragged over the legs, and his foot was against the fence. And when he drug him over his knee, MOSVAR's knee, his leg got stuck, and he actually sat on his leg and got stuck underneath him. So I could see that potentially happening. But when he popped back up, I saw him touching his hip and kind of making an adjustment. But also too, on that side of it, you could see a little black like maybe tassel or something. I don't know. It could be tape, could have been whatever it was, but something was underneath there that was coming out. I don't like when the 2 number 1 guys, or the 2, number 1, number 2, and they talk about it being on the line as the title shot. These guys just don't fight. It doesn't happen.
But I thought they fought. I don't know if I agree with that assessment. I thought they fought.
I think because we expected a little bit.
They're 2 boring fighters. Like both of them are objectively boring fighters.
That's a little harsh, buddy.
What? MOSVAR Evloev has more decisions than anybody in the history of this sport. The guy's boring. And then Lerone Murphy has
That's not factually true, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I like how you try to push it off. You said it with such conviction that I think a lot of these people really believed you.
Who has more decisions in the UFC than MOSVAR? He might as well be a women's flyweight. He might as well be. The dude has like 16 UFC fights, all decisions. He has no finishes at all.
Wow, I think,
and he hasn't come close.
Finishes.
No,
doesn't he have finishes?
No.
Who did he finish with the rear naked? I think he's got like 2 or 3.
He didn't finish anybody. He doesn't finish people.
He's got 2 or 3.
MOSVAR Evloev.
Yeah, who's he got?
Decision against Sang-Woo Choi. Decision against Enrique Barboza. Decision against Mike Grundy. Split decision against Nick Lentz. Decision against Hakeem. Decision against Dan Ige. Decision against Diego Lopez. Decision against Arnold Allen. Decision against Aljo. Decision against... He has no finishes in the UFC.
None. Oh, wow.
Not
I thought he had 1 or 2.
And Lerone Murphy's not much better. Lerone Murphy has 3 finishes: Ricardo Ramos, Makwan Amirkhani, and then obviously Aaron Pico. So that's not nothing. But if you look at his other fights, the Josh Emmett fight didn't do much. The Dan Ige fight, he almost gets finished. The Edmund Barboza, that one wasn't a terrible fight, actually. He's the more exciting of the 2, but he is also like MVP-ish counter striker that needs you to push forward.
Let me jump in real quick.
Yeah.
Cypher Optic 24. I'm going to go ahead and look what he just read. I can get behind like, hey, he's got the most decisions. John Fitch on his title run had like 7 or 8 finishes out of like 11 fights.
Guys, I guarantee
shut your whore mouth.
I guarantee this isn't true, guys. Don't worry.
We did this before. He had like, before he got to a title shot, which was 11 or 12 fights, he had like, I would say somewhere between that 6 to 8 finishes.
Guys,
go ahead, look it up.
I got you guys.
Look it up.
Split decision first, Marcelo Afaya. He finished Josh Berkman. Decision
1.
Damian Maia. Decision Eric Silva. He finishes Johnny Hendricks.
2.
Decision BJ Penn. Decision Thiago Alves. Decision Ben Saunders. Decision Mike Pierce. Decision Pialo Thiago. Decision Akiri Gono. Decision GSP. Decision Chris Wilson. Decision Diego Sanchez. Finished Juan Canero. Juco.
Okay.
Finished Luigi Fiorante. Decision Kanishiwi Shishuya. Finishes Thiago Alves. Finishes Josh Berkman. Decision. And now he's well out of the UFC. So what
6.
did you say? 11 of 10?
No, I said out of the 11 fights that he took him to get to 11 or whatever, 12 fights to get to the title shot, he had 6 to 8 finishes. And that's exactly what I said. So 6.
Well, so the title shot is
bad.
GSP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6?
5.
Oh,
5 decisions.
Oh,
1,
man.
2. No, 5 decisions, 4 finishes. So yeah.
Oh,
To in the UFC to get to the title shot.
got it.
Anyway,
so I was off. I was off by 2, but my bad.
Correct.
My bad. Look, let me just tell you, MOSVAR is not John Fitch. John Fitch had some finishes, buddy. Okay, John Fitch was, and I'm gonna ditto this. Tiger Shark Diver. Yeah, John Fitch was a badass back in the day. He was a badass back in the day. Guys couldn't beat him. Badass. You're a guy that this guy is from your area, kind of. He's from Indiana. Like that's kind of like near your.
Have you seen a map?
Connecticut.
I don't think you've seen a map.
That's kind of like
it's a different time zone.
I bundle all you guys together in this like shitty area. Bund you all. The fact that you want to be related to like a New York, you're like, oh, New York's the greatest city ever. That's a bunch of horseshit.
It is the greatest city.
It is not.
What's a better city than New York City?
In this country. Yeah, every single fucking city besides New York. Crazy, every single.
Nah, that's nuts.
I actually like Chicago more. Chicago to me is I love the food in Chicago. The music in Chicago is fucking awesome.
This is the music.
Oh my gosh, New York is disgusting. Just disgusting.
That's crazy.
It's disgusting. Chicago's clean. New York is
because the whole thing burned down and they had to rebuild it in the 70s or whatever 40s, whatever the hell year that was.
Matthew, look at this guy. I know Angela would love this. Josh is an idiot. There you go. It's all right. Hey, Matthew Meredith 441. Using your full name. Very cute.
This guy gets it.
Your mom uses your full name when she yells at you, buddy. Calm down. Never said he has a bad mouth. No, all right. It's okay, Cypher. It's okay. I get it. Did you were fine with the decision on the Lerone Murphy MOSVAR Evloev? Fine with the decision, Angelo?
No, not fine with the decision. I thought it was a draw.
You thought it was a draw. This is how I had it scored. I had it 1 for MOSVAR. I had 2 and 3 for Lerone. I had 4 was obviously a draw round, 9-9, because MOSVAR won that round at the point deduction. And then I had MOSVAR winning round 5. So 1 and 5 went to MOSVAR, 2 and 3 went to Lerone, and 4 was a draw.
You thought MOSVAR won the first round?
Yeah. It was a bore. It could have went.
Not much happened, but
no, that's what I'm saying.
More happened in the first round of that fight than the Nathaniel Wood Lacine Kaida fight. Nothing happened in the first round of that fight. Nothing. Like literally nothing.
MOSVAR, I thought landed there was one really hard shot in the first round, and MOSVAR won that exchange. That was it. That's all I could go off of, though. There wasn't enough activity. A Dana White's non-committal to saying that MOSVAR is getting the title shot. Kind of pussyfooted around it at the press conference. And then on top of that, you've got Jean Silva saying contract is signed. Pretty much he's next in line.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're speculating. It's Jean's. Get this comment off the screen. I think they're speculating. It's like throwing me off. I keep looking at it like I got to read it.
No, I want to throw you on there, man. I want to throw you on there. Go ahead.
obviously it was Alex Volkanovski who said, I want to fight. I need to fight the winner of this matchup. Like, I want to fight one of them. I want to fight the best, and they're the best, etc. I could understand Dana being a little hesitant because it's very hard. If LERONE won, you can market LERONE. He's not young. He's 32, but he has a whole country behind him. He's got some striking finishes. You can market LERONE Murphy. It's very hard to market MOSVAR. Very hard to market him. He is boring. He doesn't have, obviously he has a country behind him, but it's not the same, right? The UFC wants countries that spend money on merch and spend money on alcohol and spend money on gambling so that they can push their advertisers. When your advertisers are like sports books and alcohol and your viewers are all Muslim, that doesn't really work well for the advertisers. That is not like, they don't drink and they don't gamble. So I can, from a business perspective, I can totally understand Dana being like, I don't want MOSVAR winning this belt. Like, he's impossible to market. He doesn't really have personality. At least Islam speaks perfect English. He's funny as hell. And he's so dominant that people forgive him for some of the decisions. And he's been in some dogfights. So I can see the UFC moving away from MOSVAR. With that being said, I thought MOSVAR had a good fight. First of all, I think he should get the title shot. I think he deserves it. I think he should have gotten it over Diego Lopez. But I do think he had a good showing last night. I thought MOSVAR looked better last night than he has in almost every previous fight because he did move forward. He did strike, and you saw the switch. When they took that point away and he turned it on, he's bombing away, moving forward. I think he outstruck LERONE Murphy for the vast majority of that fight, round 3 and on. Midway through round 3 and on, he outstruck LERONE Murphy. He walked him down. He was landing. LERONE was backing up, covering up, turning away. I thought MOSVAR looked better in that fight than most fights. And with that being said, I think Volk can beat him.
That's exactly where I was going with this.
Do the matchup. Just do it, and then let Volk hopefully win, and then we're done with it. If MOSVAR wins, the problem is, now what? Like, there goes any viewership in the 145. Like, there goes selling any events with MOSVAR Evloev as your champion. Because if he beats Volk, who can beat him at 145?
I don't think that, from what I saw last night, from what I've seen previously, I just don't think he can beat Volk. I think he's very talented. I think he gets a bad rap for being a boring fighter. And I enjoy watching the wrestling. I enjoy watching, the way he positions. I wish he would do a better job of ground and pounding, because his ability to do damage from the top, we saw it last night. When he did throw and he landed. Yeah, when he threw and he landed, it was like, damn, all of your shots seem like they're doing some damage. LERONE was face down at one point, and they did a close-up on the face. It was just dripping, leaking blood. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, just do some more work. Instead, he's hugging and holding. I'm like, posture up and get after it. You're going to make that guy move into a more defensive position, which means he's not getting back to his feet. Yeah. And that's what it always drove me crazy when guys were the guys that just wanted to hold and hug on you and hold you down. If you open up and do damage, it makes it less likely for them to get to their feet, because they're going to actually fall back to their back and start covering.
Now you're worrying about 10 different things, and you can't just get up and reach for a wrist because you get punched in the face, and you're worried about a bunch of different stuff. And that's how most of the submissions on the ground happen in scrambles. Somebody's trying to get up, you're hitting them, you snag their back real quick, you grab a neck, whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, I think, assuming Volk looks anything like what he looked like in the first Islam fight, I think he beats MOSVAR. Because
I was going to ask you in the comparison of that fight, like, I know we don't like to do MMA math,
and he's been knocked out bad twice since then, but
yeah, but that doesn't mean that his wrestling skills suck.
Correct. And MOSVAR doesn't have that same power.
No.
So yeah, I mean, I think Volk beats him. I think Volk beats him because Volk will move forward. Volk will get in his face. Dude, like, LERONE Murphy's takedown defense was actually dog shit last night. Like, he got up. His scramble skills were great. He got up. He isolated the hand. But the very first real takedown from MOSVAR was like, he just lowered his level, hit the hips at 1,000 miles an hour, and LERONE had like no idea it was coming. LERONE like overcommitted on a shot, and MOSVAR was like bang on the hips instantly. And it's like, dude, what are we doing?
When he chose to go, he got in deep.
Against this guy, what are we doing?
Yeah, when he chose to go ahead and shoot, when he chose to lower his level and shoot, he got in real deep.
Like, easy.
Yeah. which really threw me off that he chose not to do it earlier in the fight, because I think had he done it, we wouldn't be having this conversation at all about a robbery. 1 or 2 takedowns in the first two or three rounds, just even if it was just one, the big slam, the big lift, all of those things. MOSVAR can fucking wrestle. He looks physically just like a Greek god. The fact that he didn't get after it early, I thought we were watching another Bilal and JDM style fight. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you chose not to start wrestling until rounds 4 and 5. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is that where JDM was actually throwing punches and getting off, and Bilal made the conscious decision to not shoot. Whereas MOSVAR was like, I'm fine on the feet. I'm doing okay. Like, there's not really much going on. And I can get the takedown when I want. I really felt like he did it. He just was conserving his energy because he didn't want to get tired.
Yeah, because literally, as soon as that point was deducted, I mean, you got to credit his fight IQ. The second that point was deducted, he changed everything. Like, there was a literal line. That point was taken away. MOSVAR was a completely different fighter from that point on. Wasn't remotely close to the fighter we saw up until that point. So, yeah, I mean, his fight IQ is solid. And I keep saying he's boring. He is boring. But I do love the grappling exchanges when people can grapple with him. The problem is a lot of people can't. The Aljo fight was incredible. Great. That fight was incredible because Aljo can wrestle and Aljo can scramble. And MOSVAR was just this much better in that fight. But all the other ones, Diego Lopez can't wrestle or scramble. So that fight was terrible. And like all these other MOSVAR fights are not very exciting. This was one of the better ones. The Aljo one was his best. The rest of them are boring.
Are you kidding me? Do you thought the Diego Lopez and MOSVAR fight was terrible?
He held Diego Lopez down the entire time. Then there was a fake knee bar that went nowhere.
But Diego was like scrambling for submissions. I thought it was a really good fight. And some of that, but a lot of that, not a lot, but I'd say probably 50% of that fight was on the feet. He was able to but he was able to scramble and get back up to his feet.
We're going to have to pull up the stats again. I don't know how.
And where do you pull up these stats? Do you go to WeWantPicks.com?
WeWantPicks has all the stats, man.
WeWantPicks.com/offer, man. Use the promo code and still. I'll tell you guys, it's only $10 a month. You guys can pay for $10 a month. You can cancel anytime. It gives you all the stats you need to go ahead and shape your own ideas and your own bets on the fighters you want to go ahead and choose. Look at the odds, take a look. And there's also other people that have done video content on there, and they give you their reasons on why they decided to bet on this. You got what? You got Mincy Bets on there? Don't you got her on Dime piece?
Minty was doing recap shows for us, but nobody watched them, so we're not doing those anymore.
Oh, wow. Ooh. I mean, I would just watch to watch her.
It was the weigh-in recaps.
The weigh-in.
By then, people don't, at that point, people don't care. But the MOSVAR Diego Lopez, 4 takedowns, 9 minutes of control.
Okay, so half the fight. Like I said, around half the fight. Half the fight, buddy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Either way, I didn't think that was a very exciting fight. I don't think MOSVAR is a very exciting fighter, at least when he's running through people. I guess the better level of competition, the more exciting his fights will be because they'll be more competitive. So I think he deserves the title shot against Volkanovski. Volkanovski said that's who he wanted. He's earned. I don't know what else he needs to do to get there. The problem is if he becomes champ, it is kind of, it's not great. It's not great, but it is what it is. Like sometimes you just have to, I understand trying to manipulate the situation and trying to get more exciting fights and keeping people away or rushing people to a belt. But at a certain point, you just can't deny wins.
That's true. I mean, that's how John Fitch got his title shot. That's how Bilal got his title shot.
Yeah, at a certain point, you just keep winning. You will eventually get to a title shot.
Yep. I told that to Corey Anderson before he left to come to Bellator. I told him, it's like, just keep winning fights, dude. Don't change what you're doing. You have no choice. You have to just keep winning. Winning solves everything. In the UFC's eyes, they have to finally eventually get you there.
Now it's a thin margin because one loss, they're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
We're done with you. Whew.
Yeah.
And then, it's not like a Diego Lopez situation where you lose, you have an exciting fight, they throw you right back into the mix. Once some of these more quote unquote boring guys lose, the UFC is like, whew. Yeah. All right. Bilal has to win 10 more fights to get back to a title shot. Like that's not happening again.
Okay. So MOSVAR, Evloev, like him versus Volk. Does Volk get an automatic rematch if he loses?
If he doesn't retire, you kind of have to.
Okay. He does the automatic rematch. I also feel if the UFC has to choose and they say, hey, like let's just say Volk doesn't get the automatic rematch, or he does and he loses the second one, whatever it is, right? And you end up in this position. The UFC has to choose between Aljo and MOSVAR. And that's the only guy that really has a chance of beating him.
Probably because that first fight was close. I think Aljo gets a bad rap. First of all, somebody said
100%.
The Twitter hat. This is bad birdie, not Twitter.
Yeah, somebody actually commented bad birdie earlier on this.
Yeah, dude, people like love this hat for. I just saw it at Dick's. I was like, that's a cool hat. I suck at golf, and that's the whole point of this brand is like you suck at golf, but here's some decent shit. So I bought it. Anyway,
I like it. You do suck at golf, by the way.
I 100%. I'm not built for sports like that.
You're not built for sports, buddy. Go ahead.
Tell that to the home run I'm about to hit in softball at 5:30 p.m. in the park.
Oh yeah, home run. Got to put the weight behind it.
I do have to put.
I know you do.
What the hell was I saying?
You got.
Oh, I think Aljo gets a bad rap. I genuinely like Aljo. I think Aljo gets a bad rap for sure. And it all started when he like put on the performance of a lifetime against Petr Yan, and that's fine. Like that was very performative. Like the performance, like the acting performance.
Oh, okay. I wanted to see where you were at on this.
The acting performance. Like I get it that was bullshit. But with that being said, his interviews are actually good. He's very he's just honest and open, and
people don't like that. Have you not learned anything?
It is fucking crazy. Hate it. He's honest, he's open, he's kind of whiny sometimes, but like
yeah,
it is what it is. Like you're allowed to whine about your career. Like I don't know. I think Aljo gets a bad rap. I like him just being who he is, and he's very self-aware. Aljo will literally in interviews be like, the fans don't like me, and it is what it is. Like he's very aware, and it's like if you are just your genuine self, I like you so much more than a character. Like I was never a big Kobe Covington guy until the time when I finally turned and was like, I kind of like Kobe Covington is when he did, I think it's Food Truck Diaries, maybe that Brendan Schaub on Showtime. Food Truck
Diaries.
He would eat at a food truck and he would interview people, and Kobe Covington was there, and he was not in character, and he was very open about like it's just a character. He's like, that's not who I am as a person. It's just a character, and that's when my career took a turn, is when I started doing this. And he was like, but it sucks because I have family members who like have abandoned me and like don't talk to me anymore because of a character that I'm playing so I can pay my bills. And once he was like real with that, I was like, okay, you can see the real version of him. I like him. I just like real, authentic, just be who you are. And maybe you're not funny or charismatic, but just be who you are. I can get behind that. And Aljo's always just been who he is. So it's like, I think Aljo gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
The fans like hate him for some reason, but if you ask them why, I don't think you'll get a clean answer. They've just decided, I don't like him. And
I've been trying to
like a real answer.
Him and I have been DMing back and forth and texting back and forth about some stuff. And, him and I have a little beef over the whole acting job he did with the first fight.
I mean, if he's going to deny that he was like, he fucking.
And that was my argument. That was my whole argument. I'm like, look,
just be like, yeah, of course I faked it.
I'm not condemning you because you didn't continue fighting. I was just saying like, hey, just admit it. You were acting and I'm cool with it. Like you were trying to sell it more, whatever it is. I want to have him on because the last before we started kind of trying to talk again was it was fuck you pussy was the last fucking DM I got from him. And it was fucking great. I'm like, oh, he's mad. He's mad. I'm like, but fighters, I think we understand each other. We know that there was a little something going on. And I'm definitely not here to criticize him for not continuing to fight. You took a fucking knee straight to the dome. Like illegal. It has, a legal one. You weren't expecting it. That has a true effect on how you perform. So, and then the other thing too, is he shut me the fuck up when he dominated the second fight.
I was gonna say it is funny for him to die on that hill because you won the rematch.
Yeah.
Clearly. Like you won the rematch. Like there's nothing and nobody's immune from it. Tom Aspinall went from everybody's favorite fighter to one of the most hated dudes in the UFC right now. And the only thing that happened is he was illegally eye poked.
Yep.
And now it's like he's faking it. Nobody's immune from it.
Fans are very fickle, man. Very fickle.
If Tom Aspinall comes back and beats the brakes off of Cyril Gane, then it's like, all right, can you guys shut up about it? But for some reason, Aljo doesn't get that same courtesy despite winning. And Aljo is on paper, the greatest bantamweight of all time. Nobody has more bantamweight title defenses than he does. He's the best bantamweight ever.
Is that true?
Just straight up title defenses. Yeah. He has more than Dominic Cruz. It's a fact. I promise you.
Wow. I don't know. I feel like I just can't trust you anymore. You just throw shit.
I've been proving you wrong.
Like, and I proved you wrong the very first time you went out there and said he's the most worst fighter or whatever it is. Whatever it is. Anyways.
The most worst.
Right. Yeah, the most worst.
Never said that shit.
Let's see here. Degenerate MMA fan. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Kamaru had mostly decisions win on his way up to the belt, then started finishing people once he became champion. Well, there is that old saying, right? That when you become champion, it makes you 20% better. And you start to believe in yourself. You start to believe that everything you're doing is working and no one can touch you. And you know that everyone that's coming up, you've already seen them fight multiple times. You have a good beat on them. And those guys are studying you. It's hard to keep the title for longer than 2 or 3 times because now everyone is strictly focused on you, where they weren't focused on you before when you weren't the champion. They watched you fight out of the corner of their eye, but they were more focused on the champion. But to retain your title for more than 2, 3 times, that's what becomes difficult because now all eyes are on you. So, but Kamaru Usman, man, is one of those guys. Absolutely a fantastic fighter. Absolutely. Aljo, great fighter. But I guess my question to you was, because you got sidetracked and went off on this big thing, who would the UFC rather have, Aljamain Sterling or MOSVAR Evloev as the champion? Because he's really the only guy they could throw in there that has a really good chance of potentially beating him, especially in a 5-round fight.
He has to win his next fight. He's
does.
already booked. He has to.
Yusuf
Zalal. Not an easy fight.
Not an easy fight.
Yeah, that's not an easy fight at all.
Yeah. And if he wins that fight, I still don't think they give him a title shot.
No, probably not. But the other thing that has happened here, which is kind of funny, is Aljo, while not a fan favorite, and I think the UFC feels he's difficult, he's a name. And we're running out of names. Like, we are running out of names. And Aljo is a name. And it's funny how that happens.
I think it's great. Look, he has got, his striking is not what people make it out to be. He's got some striking. He just chooses to get after it and grapple a lot more. But his wrestling and his grappling together, I think are fantastic, man. I think he puts it together better than almost anybody. Anybody in the game, he puts it better in terms of the wrestling with the grappling. Like, we see a little bit of other guys, right? We see guys that they can't put the two things together. I have Islam at the top that does it. I've got Aljo right there at number 2 or number 1. You can interchange them however you want in terms of putting the wrestling together with the grappling. Then there's like a big drop off. You got MOSVAR and guys that can wrestle, but then they don't grapple very well. They don't make the exchanges into the back very well. They get control. They hang on the hips. That makes for the boring fights. So I don't know. We're gonna find out. Look, this guy right here. Calm down, guys. Look, I'm not trying to.
I think he's talking about me.
Whatever.
I say MOSVAR. I do the S before the V.
Oh, God.
And for some reason, Tripafar. Good luck with is a fucking
Tripafar.
A speech therapist, and it triggers him if you.
It's so weird to me.
Name wrong.
It's so weird when people do that. Why do people do that? Like, we're on a social media platform. We're trying to talk about these people's names. Really,
it's funny. There was a whole banter last night between Bisping, Felder, and what's his name? They were literally bantering about enunciating and pronouncing different fighters' names, like, and how hard it is. He's like, "Well, that's what we get paid for." Like, yeah, it was during the Mantis fight.
Okay. So you can do that, like, if I'm actually live on air when I'm talking about it,
because you have it written out phonetically.
Yes, and what we all do, and when you're cage side, what we all do is we end up going to John Anik, or we go to. I used to go to Goldie, or I'd go to Marwanello.
I do use John Anik for that.
And I'd be like, hey, let's see what he says, and then I also go to the ring announcer. So Bruce Buffer or Michael C. Williams, I would go to them. Jimmy Lennon Jr. I would go to them and be like, hey, how do you say this name? How do you say it? Because however,
have you ever seen a Bruce Buffer card?
Yeah, they're all that way.
It's berserk.
Yeah,
it's like it's crazy.
Yep,
how marked up it is. It's absolutely.
What you do is you just do whatever they say, because that's how people are going to automatically.
Well, they ask fighter interviews, how do I say your name?
Yes, absolutely they do. Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the co-main event. We haven't even got past the co-main event. We're 40 minutes in. Jeez, man. Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell. I thought this was a great fight. I thought Luke Riley looked fantastic, and I thought Aswell also had a very good performance. He just, it was, the scorecards didn't justify, didn't show the true, how close this fight was. It didn't show how close this fight was. It was a good fight. Aswell has a very bright future. I'm looking forward to seeing Aswell fight again. But I thought Luke Riley, just the little bit more aggressive, a little bit more aggressiveness, and a little bit more pop on
more
his
athletic.
punches.
He's a little faster, a little cleaner, just this much better everywhere. So it was a straightforward win, but it was close because how tough and gritty Michael Aswell is.
Yeah.
You're not just going to get him out of there. He just moves forward, stays in your face. Even if he's a little slower, not as clean, he's not an easy fight. And I think that was a perfect fight for Luke Riley because it's like, all right, you want to see these young prospects get tested. Like, I don't want to see him thrown to the wolves yet. Let's just gradually increase the level of competition. And sometimes giving them somebody that they're better than, but that you know for a fact is insanely tough and going literally nowhere is a perfect test. Earlier on the card, we saw Danny Silva destroy Curtis Campbell. And by destroy, I mean lose the first round and then finish him in the second. So Curtis Campbell did not pass the exact same test that Luke Riley got. Yeah. And the test was, here's somebody that you are better than, but they're really, really tough, and you're not just going to get them out of there. Let's see how you do. Curtis Campbell fails that test. Luke Riley passes that test. Luke Riley, we'll see what that future is.
Yeah, I thought he looked great, man. But let me ask you this. Where are we at in the sport where you have two guys that came from the Dana White Contender Series as the co-main event?
That was because it was in London. Like that's the only reason that was the co-main.
London's one of the biggest cities and one of the biggest venues that we go to across the world. So why are we not putting no offense to them? I thought they delivered a great fight. No offense to them whatsoever. But this is, I think, where a lot of people are having this. They're being pulled that we are starting to dumb down the sport or not get the best quality fights. These guys are the co-main event. This should not have been a co-main event. This was, I think, a really good fight, a fantastic fight. And I know that that Riley's a local guy and this and that, but I thought he fought his ass off. I thought he looked good. It was better than the MVP fight, I'll tell you that. But how did we end up with two guys coming off the Dana White Contender Series as the co-main event? This is what people were complaining about.
Michael Aswell had a fight in the UFC. I don't think he was coming off the Contender Series.
No, but they're from the Contender Series literally just a couple fights ago. And here you are now co-main eventing. We're not getting, a top 10 guy. These guys are not ranked in the top 10. These guys are not close to being ranked in the top 15.
I think, I don't know. I actually don't agree with the narrative that the UFC sucks now either. I think people just like crying. There's a whole, there's people out there pretending that the Netflix card is better than the White House card. Like, shut the fuck up. If the UFC put Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey on a fight card, you guys would be screaming about how horrible it is and they're old and they're used up. And if you got Francis Ngannou versus Felipe Lins, who was cut from the UFC for sucking, and then you made that fight, like, stop. People, the attitude towards the UFC has definitely turned negative. I don't know why. It's more affordable than it's ever been. There's fights every single weekend. Are they the best fights on the planet? No. But the UFC is putting on fights every single weekend. And at a certain point, you really can't blame the UFC because they're working with what they have. Here's the roster of fighters that we have. Here's who's available to fight. Here's who's already fought each other. Some are hurt, some are not. Like, it is what it is. So if I'm looking at this card and people who complain about the card going into it, dude, this is a fight night. And I thought it was objectively a good card on paper. And I thought for the most part, it kind of delivered. I thought the fight was better than a lot of people think. The main event was a very insanely important matchup, a ridiculously important matchup. Two number one contenders, this could have been a co-main event of a big pay-per-view. And I get what you're saying. Luke Riley has no real name notoriety. Michael Aswell was 1-1 in the UFC. He actually lost on his Contender Series fight. I get all of that. But that co-main event was to highlight Luke Riley at home, an undefeated kid they want to promote. You could have put MVP in the co-main, but look how that fight turned out.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't think that was a shitty co-main event. I understand why they did it. I think the main event was strong enough. And this was a free fight card, whether you live in America or not. This fight card was free to the world. It's not a numbered event where they're only free to certain countries and people still have to pay per-view in other countries. It was free.
How is it free? It was on Paramount. It's not free. You got to pay for Paramount.
In other countries, it's on whatever their local broadcast channels are. It was just Paramount is only us and like 2 other countries.
Interesting. Thought it's not Canada. I know that.
I forget which. Yeah, we looked.
It's Australia, and there's one other one. Can't remember what it is. Maybe 2.
And I don't see. So this dude says, Ange, this was arguably the worst card they ever put on the UK. That's not true. That's literally not true. And if I'm looking at this card, we have MVP, who is ranked, MOSVAR Evloev ranked, Lerone Murphy ranked. If I work my way down the list, Roman Dolidze is ranked, CLD is ranked. The Mason Jones fight was an absolute barn burner. Nathaniel Woods on an all-time win streak. Losine Kieda was this insanely hyped prospect. Mario Pinto, insanely hyped prospect. We had Mantis contra Davicius or whatever. It was supposed to be a highlight fight. They bring in Brando Perisic, who's supposed to be, the next big thing at heavyweight. Chanel, this was not a bad card on paper. And a lot of these fights delivered. Some fights sucked. And I think people are just miserable because when you have a controversy in the main event, that's what sticks with you. And obviously the MVP fight killed any momentum we had going. But I do not think it was a terrible fight card. And I think people just want to be negative about the UFC right now. And I get it, especially if you're paying, but this is the most affordable this sport has literally ever been. And there are fights every single weekend. You cannot have, there's only so many weight classes and so many ranked fighters. Like what do you think these fights could be every weekend? I
think this is what happened is that the very last fight on the ESPN deal, the December fight, the card, and then also to the November one, both those cards were pretty damn good. They were pay-per-view. We paid for them. Okay. Yeah. But then you get into this new era of Paramount, and there's all this money supposed to be thrown at it. And the fights, look, money doesn't make the fights better. Like, that's what people have to understand. Just because the UFC's gotten paid more money by Paramount, and then as these fighters start renegotiating their contracts as they come due, don't think that because the UFC got this money, now let's just go ahead and redo everyone's contract now. No. They're going to have them fight out their 4 or 5 fights. They're not going to just pay them to pay them. They're going to have them fight out their 4 or 5 fights to see if they're still around. Let the cream rise to the top. And the ones that make it out on the other end, we're going to pay them. That's how business works. You don't just go throwing money at it, hoping that you're going to fix it. And let me just tell you, I've been part of every organization that's thrown money at fighters, and it hasn't always worked out. You can throw money at them all, but they have to still deliver in performance. And last night, there was some good fights, but there were some fights that just didn't live up to the hype or the expectation.
There was 13 fights. Some of them are going to suck.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I definitely am okay with that. Luke Riley fought his little ass off, okay? And I thought Aswell looked just
bigger than you.
He is not. He's featherweight, dude.
He's 5'9".
I'm going to kick you in your fucking third chin.
You can't get your leg that high.
5'10" and a half. 5'10" and 3/4. I've lost
once you start using half and quarter sizes, I have to. You're full of shit.
Well, we know you're not 6'3". You're probably like 6'2" and a half.
You say 6'4",
so. Bro. Yeah, because you get a little wide, things start to look a little bit, you know what I mean. I agree with you on, I'm tired of people shitting on the UFC. I'm tired of it because there's a lot of business.
It's the most affordable it's ever been. That's the crazy part.
But let's not, but I also don't want to take your route and condone like the cards that we've gotten since this buyout or since the Paramount Network deal. These cards have not been great. They haven't been great.
What are they? I guess
we haven't got pay-per-view style fights. We haven't got pay-per-view level fights yet.
But that's not the UFC's fault. Like the issue is there's injuries that like Piotr Jan is out with an injury. Like you can go through every weight class, the heavyweight division, we got an iPod. Like there are issues at the top of almost every weight class. So they're kind of just stuck with Ilia Topuria was out because he was going through a divorce. Welterweight Islam's going to fight once a year. Like there's just always something going on. And Hamza keeps getting hurt, but they started booking shit. UFC 237 is a really good card. 2 title fights, a very good card. So like, I think people just complain. The only valid criticism is the White House card when Jon Jones was like, they wouldn't pay me more than 15 million. First of all, John, what the fuck, dude? 50 million is a shitload of money. I don't know how much money he has in his bank, but like, damn, you're just sneezing at you'd rather get nothing than 15 million. Holy shit.
Yeah, but, and that's
I guess he's set for life.
I'm saving that conversation for the end of this show because he put out this whole thing, and we'll talk about buyer's remorse. I think what he's getting, not buyer's remorse, is basically what he just put his foot in his mouth and decided not to do. Okay, look, Luke Riley fought a great fight. Michael Vetter Page, obviously we all know where this stands, but Michael Vetter Page comes out afterwards and goes, "Hey, these guys don't want to engage." Well, dude, you still got to make the fight happen. Just because you're more of a counter striker doesn't mean people need to fight to your level. They don't need to fight to your strengths. That's exactly what Patterson was not going to do. He was waiting for him to go so he could try to counter off of him as well. And I also believe, and I'm a huge MVP fan. I've done in-cage interviews with him. I've interviewed him in fight talks. Had him at the desk of Bellator. I've done all these things with him. Okay. But I think he also sees the writing on the wall. He is slowing down. He's not as fast as he used to be. And I think he sees that guys are able to hit me now, and he's less likely to engage. He needs to make sure it's an exact moment.
Who's hit him, though? He outstruck the shit out of Ian Gary. Nobody in the UFC's hit him. He's beaten everybody.
I mean, Patterson hit him in the first round with a good 2-piece. And after that, he stopped engaging. And it was right when he got hit. He got hit with a good 2-piece right off one of the first exchanges. And then after that, he got a little bit more timid. My point is, though, is that, look, Roy Jones Jr. was real good at moving offline. I don't know if you know who that is because you don't watch boxing. But Roy Jones Jr. was really good at moving offline, really good at, getting in, getting out. But as he got older, then he got clipped the one time, and then knockouts came. I think,
but that hasn't happened to MVP.
It has not happened. But if you keep fighting, eventually it's going to happen. Agreed. And for him, the getting in and getting out, it's going to slow down. He is fast. He's still faster than probably 99% of the people out there. But he's got to be very cautious and careful. He's got to fight a more conservative fight as he gets a little bit older, because that style does not allow him to leave himself. Does not allow him to take a lot more chances, knowing these guys are younger and faster.
I'm not blaming MVP for that performance. If you have an issue, first of all, the fight sucked. I'm not going to pretend it didn't suck. But if you have an issue with that performance, blame Sam Patterson. That is how MVP fights. Literally every fight he has ever been in is that. We've just had some exciting ones because people are willing to engage with him. Like if you go through MVP's UFC fight history, those are people who were willing to engage with him. Sam Patterson was not willing to engage with him. It was a 100% Sam Patterson problem because they did train together many, many times. MVP brought in Sam Patterson for different fight camps, and MVP all week long was very complimentary. He's like, he's good. He's a great guy. He's got sneaky submissions from everywhere. He does a lot of things really well. And Sam Patterson's like, I'm a mixed martial artist. And then even Bisping was like, that just means he's going to wrestle. He didn't fucking wrestle, did he? Didn't wrestle. He took one fake shot, and it was like a bear hug shot. Didn't get anywhere near the hips. Just held him against the cage. Sam Patterson did nothing in the first, nothing in the second, nothing in the third, and did nothing to try to change the fight or win the fight. And I think it's because he was literally fighting somebody he looks up to. And I think it fucked him in the head. It was somebody he's trained with, somebody he's looked up to before. I'm sure Mike MVP has to be an idol to Sam Patterson. He's literally paid his bills. And Sam Patterson didn't engage. And I understand you can certainly be mad at both fighters, but that's how MVP fights. If you have ever seen an MVP fight, that's it, dude. Even his insanely dominant performance over Kevin Holland in his UFC debut, where he beat the shit out of Kevin Holland, the dude landed like 40 or 30 strikes in the entire fight.
Yeah.
That's what he does. So it's like, be mad at Sam. Yeah, that fight sucked, but blame Sam Patterson, not MVP, not the 2-1 favorite who won a pretty straightforward decision.
Yeah.
Blame the dog who insisted he was going to wrestle and didn't wrestle.
True. Next fight, Iwo Barnooki versus Austin Lane. Austin Lane's had a rough go, bro.
I mean, Austin Lane sucks.
he's
a
seconds.
Spectacular athlete. He's accomplished a lot in many sports. It's just not fighting's not for everybody. It sucks that he did all that work to go. Dude, he's huge. To do all that work to go down to light heavyweight to just be sparked in under 30 seconds absolutely sucks.
Have you had these?
No.
The Element, the
no. Can you buy them in stores? Company?
No, I got a bunch at the house, man. They were good.
Yeah. No,
really good. They have this is like a lemonade. It's like a lemonade salt, but it's for hydration, so electrolytes. Yeah. It's fucking good. Magnesium and potassium in it, man. Helps me sleep at night. They're pretty awesome. Do you have a hard time sleeping at night?
Yeah, because I can't shut my brain off.
I don't know if that's the case. You probably, because your airways probably close up.
It's the sleep apnea machine.
Yeah.
I do not. No, I do not have a sleep apnea machine. I don't need a sleep apnea machine.
Do you need one?
No, I only snore if I drink. Only if I drink, because I'm dehydrated.
Which is every weekend. So you snore every weekend?
I've dialed it back a lot.
You need to. You're about 285 right now.
No, I think I slimmed.
Bro, you went on that cruise, but then you were on the shitter the whole time you were on the cruise, right?
I definitely lost weight day one. Here's the combination. At lunch, I had a beautiful Caesar salad. That is actually the problem.
With fried chicken?
No, I literally just had a huge salad. It was a big salad. It was at like 2 p.m. Then I had like for dinner, dinner was regular, and then I had some wine. The combination, and then I had a hot dog, random hot dog. So a random hot dog, some wine, and some salad in a 5-hour window was like, this is getting out of here right now.
You know, Caesar salad, you know the dressing is made from like mayonnaise and shit, right?
It's not mayonnaise, it's egg.
But it's mixed with like mayonnaise.
It's worse.
Yeah, it's worse.
No,
and then you mix that egg. Mix that with wine.
It's
you decided
egg
to mix
yolks.
that.
It's egg yolks and oil and anchovies. It's like and mustard. No, the lettuce is my problem. If I eat salad after a certain time of day, stomach problems 100.
You're fucking allergic to lettuce. Go figure.
But that's what salad does. That's why Italians eat salad at the end of the meal. Not
I love to eat salad. I'd rather have my salad at the end. I'd rather have my salad at the end. I think it's smart. That's why they're all fucking skinny, except for your fat ass.
No, like Italians have that little carb pooch in the middle. Skinny arms, skinny everywhere, little pouch in the middle from all the pasta.
I got some dime piece girls though too. Damn.
Some.
Yeah, some.
Gross.
Ewo, 28-second knockout. Not much to talk about, man. Great combination. Boom, done. Fight done. Christian Leroy Duncan, though, I thought on the other hand, looked fast, looked explosive. Great movement. I felt like he could have got Delize out of there. Delize just looked like he didn't want to be hit. He did everything he could to avoid being hit. The big spinning stuff, all that, all those things happen when you want to keep the other person.
The spinning stuff is pathetic. It's
okay to do it once in a while.
And some people do it well and they set it up and you spin because you've like overcommitted and the fighter's over here. So bang, I'm going to spin and get back to where I need to be. He was just spinning around like for no reason. He was out of position for a spinning back fist. Like, what are you doing? Roman, I'm a big Roman guy because he's unbelievable on the ground. He's got power in his hands, but like sometimes he just doesn't do shit. Even that takedown in the third, what the hell was that? He like had the legs and then like folded backwards over them. He like somehow pulled guard while having the legs. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. No,
it happens all the time. Guys, they'll get a single leg and they'll just roll to their back and try to attack a leg lock.
And I get it. Roman's like a literal world level grappler. Like I completely understand that, but he's also a Georgian. Have some country pride. You guys are good wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like you're known for that. Have some pride in your country and like show the world what Georgian wrestlers can do. Holy shit.
Go ahead. Read that out loud.
We do have our own show.
We do have our own show. What are you talking about? This is what you're watching our own show, buddy.
I love listening to Josh and Angelo. They should have their own TV show. They're like Beavis and Butthead, especially when they argue. Ha ha. They're great. Masters of the Universe classic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look, I thought Christian Leroy Duncan looked good, looked fast, looked explosive. I think
looked kind of useless on the ground though.
Yeah, you got to get him there first though. But these guys that are so athletic, they've got to work on all areas of the game. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he's that guy, but we're gonna see. There was guys from the past. Like Drew McFederys and those guys. Remember those guys back in the day? Those guys way back in the day, right? They were great on the feet.
McFederys, dude, that's so funny.
David Loazo, those guys, they were great on the feet, but if you were able to get them down, they weren't the grind. They weren't the best. You've got
that
Danny
was 20
Silva.
Years ago. Like now, like the sport has changed. Like I did a whole rant in my recap. The days of being a specialist are over. Go ask fucking Curtis with a K how being a single threaded specialist worked out for him. Those days are done.
Yeah.
You got to be good at all of it.
You've got Danny Silva versus Curtis Campbell.
There it is. Curtis with a K.
Curtis with a K. Not much to talk about here. Pretty much just a nice little done.
As soon as it didn't go his way, that was it. Like it looked good early, had the takedowns, like had the control. Very clearly, what I do like about Curtis is he has wrestling. He is a bit of a jiu-jitsu nerd, but he'll shoot real takedowns and then immediately starts climbing the body, working for stuff. So I do like that he is not in the category of phenomenal on the ground, but no ability to get it there because he has very good takedowns. Problem is the striking just isn't up to snuff. And when everybody knows you are just going to desperately shoot takedowns, all it takes is some self-confidence in your own takedown defense or your submission defense. And then you get Danny Silva. The dude has confidence in his takedown defense, confidence in his submission defense. He's like, I'll get my hands on him eventually. Yeah. I'm not worried about it. And he did.
What I like about Danny Silva is that he didn't actually like rush it to the point where he blew his wad and missed all of his shot. He was picking and choosing his shots, landing the clean shots to put him away. So the fight of the night, obviously, I think went to Mason Jones versus Axel Sola. I thought this fight should have actually been the co-main event or the fight right underneath the co-main event. I would have put this fight ahead of the Luke Riley fight. Just
Danny Silva Curtis Campbell fight.
What? No.
You already moved on. I moved on. Hold on. Real quick with the Curtis Campbell thing. Another rant. I just hate the negative UFC energy. And there's valid criticisms to have for the UFC. I just hate people just love complaining. It's like a fucking sport for people, especially on the internet. And this week, I don't know if you saw, there was a lot of hate because Curtis Campbell got custom fight shorts. Did you see that? He had custom.
Were they pink?
Yeah, he's the Pink Panther. He got custom, and people are like, "This guy, who the hell? This is ridiculous." But it's like, dude, Jesus Christ! Multiple things can be true at the same time. You can be happy that the UFC went out of their way to do something like this for a local prospect and help out, help build a fan base for this guy, while also being annoyed that your favorite fighter hasn't gotten custom shorts. I just hated that it was immediately like, he doesn't deserve this, blah, blah, blah. Dude, if this is our favorite sport and we're all happy that we're watching our favorite sport and we want it to grow and we want to build the next generation of stars, how could we be annoyed that the UFC went above and beyond and invested in somebody who they thought was going to be a star? Yes, he lost, but people were complaining before he lost. I just hated to see the whiny crybaby, like, why does this guy get custom fortune? So-and-so doesn't get good. I don't know why the other person didn't, but why can't we be happy that this dude did? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people just want to complain. And I saw some purple ones, some of the pink ones. I've seen, like, look, let them go ahead and make the adjustments. And if the UFC wants to go ahead and put, their effort, or Venom wants to put their effort into making the shorts for the guy, let the guy have his moment, man. I don't understand what the problem is. And the fact that his name is Pink Panther makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. It makes all the sense. But to me, this fight, the Mason Jones versus Axel Sola fight should have been the co-main event. But that's only because hindsight is 50-50. I know it's 2020, guys. It's just the way that I say it, just to make a little joke. So before you guys hit me and berate me in the comments, it really comes down to, because we've already seen the fight, we know how good it was. It was the best fight of the night at the card. And it was a great fight back and forth. Sola looked fantastic in the first round. Yep. And Mason Jones just started biting down on the mouthpiece, putting the pressure.
Made it ugly.
Yeah, made it ugly. And that's the way he wins his fights. And I'm not mad at that. There's fighters that's the only way that they pretty much can win fights. And not that he's not talented enough to get the fights to the ground or keep it on the feet and knock guys out, but like, he's got to make it a dirty, grimy fight, I think, to start breaking people. He is one of those guys. He knows he's going to push through. He knows he's got the ability to bite down on the mouthpiece, take a shot, give a shot. Those guys are dangerous because no matter what you do, if I'm Sola, his corner should have been telling him, this guy's going to be here in the second and third round. He's going to be there late. He's going to be pushing on you. Let's not blow our wad in the first round. Let's not push too much. Let's go ahead and piece him up. Let's win the round. Get ready for round two. Not what he did. In round one, he was out there shooting target practice. Mason Jones couldn't fucking move out of the way to save his life. He was just getting Pez dispensered out there. Just bop, bop, bop. Taking it to the fucking
got dropped.
Yeah, he dropped the spinning elbow, correct?
Yeah.
Got dropped with the spinning elbow. After that, I think he thought he had the fight won. And Mason Jones is like, no. Round one. This was the great thing about Mason Jones, is that he got back to the corner, came out for the second round, was like, first round's over. It's been scored. Round two, round three, I could still win this fight.
When Mason Jones was asking his court, did I win that round? Did I win that round? That was interesting. It's like, what do you care?
Yeah.
Like, just go out there and do your thing. Like, I thought, obviously, it was a spectacular fight. Mason Jones did exactly what he was supposed to do, which is make it dirty. And there's that old boxing adage, you brawl a boxer and you box a brawler. And that's what Mason Jones did. Axel was clearly the more technical striker. Wasn't even close.
Yeah.
But Mason didn't play a technical game. He just got in his face, made it dirty, made it ugly. And when it turned is when he cut Axel, and then he just kept putting on the pace. Where I think Axel messed up, I blame his corner for this. It was 1-1 going into the third round. Mason lost the first round. Mason won the second round. It was 1-1 going into the third round. Going into the third round, there was only 2 takedown attempts from Axel, and he got them both. Two 2 real takedown attempts. He slammed Mason Jones to the down to the ground, took him down on time. All they talked about on the broadcast was he went to Dagestan. And then in between the second and the third round, the coaching advice to Axel Sola was he's getting tired. No, he's not. Have you never seen a Mason Jones fight? I promise you, this dude's not getting tired. I guarantee you that. If you going into the third round thinking this guy's going to slow down, you have failed your fighter, because that is not what the advice needed to be. Every time you've wrestled him, you've had success. Wrestle him. Stop hanging out in the pocket. You're either all the way out or you're wrestling. That's it. Nothing in between. And then he just got sucked into a brawl again in the third round. And then I thought Mason was going to finish him with like 2 seconds left against the cage.
Yeah, when he landed those 6 or 7 knees, and he just wasn't moving
over and over. Yeah.
But to me, honestly, I was like real tense watching that last round, because it was just a back and forth battle. Sola kept trying to get the takedowns, couldn't get him, but then he also came back up, took some shots, and then delivered some more shots. It was a great fight. An absolute great fight. You could tell that Sola didn't want to lose his O, and you could tell that Mason Jones like, no, I'm going to get through this, because he understood what happened in round 1, and the short-term memory is so important for athletes.
No.
You have to understand what he probably doesn't remember it at all.
Yeah, there's not going to be.
In fact, you went back and asked. You had to ask, did I win that round? Dude, you got dropped.
There's not going to be much long-term memory left either if he keeps fighting like this.
Hey, did you want to talk about any other fights on this card?
Yeah, let's cut Shamrock.
Oh,
because the reality, dude, and this isn't, his performance sucked, and he's a he's a poor sport dickhead. The dude leading up to the fight said horrible things about Alawati over and over. At the weigh-ins, he shoves him. He's calling him all sorts of shit, just being a complete prick turd burger loser. Then he loses the fight, and what's worse is going into the third round, his coach said exactly what he needed to say. His coach was like, stop showboating. You are losing this fight. You need to go out there, take him down, and win this fight. This isn't the ultimate defense championships. Go win this fight. And what did he do? He went down there, didn't do any of that shit because he's an idiot. And then after the fight, he tries to shake Alawati's hand. Alawati doesn't want to, because this dude just said horrible shit about him leading up to this fight. And then Shamrock slaps him in the face. Cut this dude immediately. He's 0-2 in the UFC. He's an absolute prick. He's a poor sport, a bad person, and his fights aren't good. Cut him immediately. Fuck that guy. The fans turned on him. He's not winning fights. What? Cut him. Cut him. That's just, what are we doing, dude? If you're going to cut Paul Daley, cut him. He's the guy that did made the comment about him not being Patchy Mix. Yeah. Turns out you are. I don't remember what the lead up was to that, but I think it was something to the effect of broken prospect or whatever. But yeah, turns out, yeah. You know why you're not Patchy Mix? Because Patchy Mix made a shit ton of money and has had success in other organizations. You're definitely not. Being Patchy Mix would be a giant. Patchy Mix was never a disrespectful piece of shit. He's just a boring wrestler who can't get takedowns sometimes. Shamrock's a disrespectful piece of shit who's never made any real money and won't, and they need to cut him. Wow. Cut him. Dude, it's one thing to talk shit and make a scene and whatever. Once you smack somebody in the face after the fight is done, get out of here. Be done. You're not good enough. At least Armin can get away with that shit because he's good. Yeah, he is. You're not good enough to be that guy. So you're not that guy. Phenomenal. Armin is phenomenal. Somebody showed Shamrock at the weigh-ins, shoved the dude, and people were like, oh, this is cringe. And then somebody quoted that and was like, how come when Conor McGregor does it, it's not cringe, but now it's cringe? It's like, because Conor McGregor's fucking Conor McGregor. Yeah. Your accomplishments do have a bearing on how we perceive your actions. If you're a 2-division world champion and at one point in time, one of the best fighters on the planet, yeah, you have a longer leash than Shamrock. You sound so salty right now. Dude, I don't know why. This side of you, I love. Honestly, I think everybody's negative energy towards the UFC, I've absorbed it, but I'm not regurgitating it. I'm just spitting it back at the negative people. But I'm all for showmanship and all that crap. But when you go out there, and I picked Alawati here, so I'm not salty because I lost the bet. I was on the Alawati side the whole time. But when you just like those antics, that cocky bullshit, and it's just like, dude, be gone. Slapping somebody when the fight is over.
Mm-hmm.
You and I argued with the Armin and Giorgio thing.
Yeah.
I had the same energy for that. Like I had the exact same energy, but at least Armin is Armin.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. Like with the Paul Daley, you brought up the Paul Daley situation. I think that's
it was very similar. Paul Daley punched the dude when he was facing the other way, but this was the same thing. Alawati was turned the other way and he smacked him. So basically the exact same thing. And they cut Paul Daley immediately.
Yeah, that's true. But he turned him a little bit, then it literally like sucker punched him. This was like a little bit of a slap.
It was, if his hand is closed, it's a sucker punch. Just because his hand is open doesn't make it any less pathetic.
Yeah, you're a little.
What the hell are you reading right now?
I'm trying to pull it up right now because, yeah. I mean, I get it. You gotta look. If you're 0-2, you can't do shit like that. You have no.
He's
you have no leash. You have no.
Not
leash.
only is he 0-2, he fought like an idiot. Like if he was 0-2 and he just lost the way Axel Sola lost, all right. Like, yeah. All right. That, you know what I mean? But you're 0-2 and you were showboating in a fight that you were actively losing. And your coach yelled at you before the third round to not do that. And then you did it. Like, that's on you, dude. You're stupid.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're going to change gears though out of the UFC fight night. Is there any other fight on this card you want to talk about? You just wanted that rant?
Yeah, just that rant. No, there are people that bet their life saving. There are people that ate $1,000 stakes and tried to pretend to be rich and told the world bet the under 1.5 on the Antonio Tricoli fight. And watching that fight go a full 50 minutes was funny to me. Good fight. Mantis might be the real deal. Last point I'll make, the skin complexion, the dude is basically see-through, right? The skin complexion on him, he was red instantly because he's so pale. He was held against the cage instantly, bright red, one jab, red. That actually is going to catch it. It's crazy how complexion matters, but that's going to catch up to him where you will lose a close decision that you should probably win because you're just beat red and swollen everywhere because you like literally you should go tan.
Are we just calling him Mantis because no one can say his last name?
Correct. Contra the Vicious.
Go ahead. All these guys that were, doing the
MOSVAR
that were criticizing and go ahead, say this last name for me. Go ahead, say it. Do an audio
Mantis
recording.
Kondratravicius. No, that's the fight that triggered that whole conversation on the actual broadcast.
Hey, I have a question for you. They're going to lead into this Jon Jones. Jon Jones puts out a tweet last night and he says, was ready, willing, and physically able to step in. I was willing to take substantially less than the Aspinall ask, but they wouldn't budge $1 over 15 million. I felt like our fight was worth more.
He's right and wrong. Like, you're right. It is worth more than $15 million. You're right. Especially with the broadcast deal they have. It's the biggest fight they could do right now because the division's kind of a hot mess. He's 100% correct. With that being said, you just turned down $15 million, which is an astronomical amount of money. And you're under contract, so you can't go get that MVP money. Yeah. He's not going to go to Netflix and fight Francis Ngannou for. They would give him $30 million. They might even give him 50 to go fight Francis Ngannou. A Jon Jones Francis Ngannou fight on Netflix, he might literally get 50 million, but legally he can't. You turn down 15 million.
You turn down 30 to fight Tom Aspinall.
So he's turned down $45 million worth of offers
in the last year and a half, year and a half.
I don't know how much money Jon Jones has, but he must. You have to be pretty set to turn down that kind of money. You have to.
I don't think you have 45 million. I don't give a shit
no,
what kind of businessman you are.
Adding those two is kind of disingenuous for us to do, but and even if you want to,
could have fought Tom Aspinall for $30 million.
But then he wouldn't have necessarily gotten the 15 for this fight. But depends on how that works.
There's a good chance he would have beat Tom Aspinall.
Potentially, but yeah. But even turning down to 15 against Alex, they're basically the same age. Alex is only a little younger. Like, to turn down 15 million, I am not his accountant, so I have no idea how that all works. But he somehow is set enough for life to turn down the biggest payday he would have ever gotten in the UFC.
So my take on this is that he is now coming out after a week of the White House card being announced and going like, I was willing, ready, and able to fight. It sounds like you outpunted the coverage. You literally are like, oh, they're going to come back to me. Oh, they're going to be, and the UFC's like, no, we're done, man. Like you're under contract. I believe he signed a 6 or an 8 fight deal before he got the Cyril Gahn fight. They're like, we don't need to renegotiate with you forever.
Yeah.
You're going to die in the UFC, basically, whether you fight or not. Your contract's going to die with us. Your rights are going to die with us. And he's thinking to himself, I just missed out on the Tom Aspinall 30 million. Let's just say 30 million. And then he missed out on another 15 million to fight a predominant, like pretty much nothing but a striker. Like I get the Tom Aspinall kind of, but $30 million, that's a fucking lot. And I know Tom, the aura around Tom was like, he can wrestle, he can grapple. He's the same size as Jon. He's going to pose some threats. He probably was going to pose some threats, some huge threats to Jon, especially this late in his career. But I don't think that Alex poses outside of the left hook. I don't think Alex poses a real big threat.
Not the same ones. Yeah.
I like. There's a little bit of wrestling and grappling out of Tom Aspinall, his ability to hit submissions. But Jon Jones is a phenomenal grappler and obviously a really good wrestler.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think again, I don't know his finances, and if $15 million doesn't matter to him, then great. Do what you need to do to protect your legacy. If you're worried about losing, know your worth. I agree with all those statements. Know your worth. I agree this is worth more than $15 million. You told us it was going to be the biggest card ever. Not quite there. They probably should have ponied up and paid what he wanted. I agree with all of that. At the same time, you can't be online bitching. You cannot be on Twitter complaining about it. You negotiated. You didn't get what you wanted. You can't now complain. Like, oh, I turned down this. You can't be complaining.
No, you definitely can't be complaining.
Like, but he's looking for sympathy. You want sympathy from us, regular people that will never have, see, or get near 25, 15, 10, $5 million? Like, what are we doing?
Do you remember when we were, I don't know about when you were kids. When I was a kid, though, everyone would be like, yeah, would you fight Mike Tyson for $1 million? We were all like, I'd go in there. Fuck yeah, I would.
You would literally die.
I would literally go ahead and let him just knock me out so I can get my $1 million.
He would die. I remember growing up, they measured his punch on ESPN, and a Mike Tyson punch was like the equivalent of driving a motorcycle into a cement wall at 20 miles an hour. It was like something insane.
No doubt. I have no doubts about that. My point is, though, is that like there was people out there, like you just said, that they're never going to sniff $1 million, never going to sniff $5 million, and would go out there and fight in a drop of a hat. Like, hey, go ahead and fight Tom Aspinall. Hell yeah, I'll go fight Tom Aspinall. $15 million? Yeah.
Well, and granted, we can't talk out of both sides of our mouth, meaning we can't say he should have accepted less and then also complain that fighters don't get paid enough, because the reason fighters don't get paid enough is there's always somebody right behind them willing to do it for less. So I fully understand that. So I'm not, if Jon Jones can afford to turn down $15 million and thinks he's worth more, all power to him. Like, good for you. But he is now online complaining that he didn't get the fight, he deserved the money, etc. It's like, well, they drew a line in the sand. I guarantee at one point during these negotiations, they said, this is it. This is the most we can pay you. And you said no. That's it. You made that decision. You could have said yes. And if you said no, because it wasn't enough, that's fine. You know your worth and you think you're worth more. And I honestly agree with you. You're worth more. But you now can't go on Twitter looking for sympathy, complaining to the world.
Well, you signed a deal, though, 2 fights ago. So why don't we just pay you what's on that contract? You signed the deal. That's one.
I get that. Landscape's changed. The landscape has changed.
What does that have to do with my contract? What does that have to do with his contract? He signed the deal. Look, you say landscape changed. Like I said it earlier, the promotion in business, you don't just go, hey, we're going to go ahead and change your numbers because we got more money. No, I'm going to write out your contract. And then when we're done, I'm going to renegotiate. If I do it for you, I've got to do it for the other top guys. Not even all the other guys on the platform.
Well, they were doing it
for the who.
They were negotiating with him, apparently. They went up to $15 million.
I understand that. $15 million. But I'm saying, though, like, you want us to go ahead and change it. And he's doing it. They were doing it for him to have him on the card. But let's be honest. They don't need him on that card. That White House card's going to sell no matter what. Alex is on the card. To me, I would say arguably Alex is a bigger draw than him. So Alex is on there. No one's not watching that card that's a fan that's a fan of Jon Jones or not really a fan of Jon Jones and not going to not watch the card. They're still going to watch the card.
And I would argue, because there's a couple different points, because I don't necessarily disagree. Like, I would argue if Jon Jones was on that card versus not on the card, I think the total viewership is materially the same. Yes. Like, adding Jon Jones is not going to magically bring in millions of people who were not going to watch, but now they will because Jon Jones on. Yeah. It won't change that. Like, your viewers were going to be your viewers basically no matter what. So I agree. Going from 15 million to 30 million, you're spending another, let's say it was 15 to 20. Maybe he wanted 5 more. Adding $5 million to your overhead isn't going to necessarily result in $5 million worth of more viewers. I agree with that statement. With that being said, sometimes you just spend the money for the fans and you deliver on the promise that this was the biggest card you could do, blah, blah, blah. With that being said, people, as negative as they want to be about the UFC and this and that, they offered $15 million. That's the most they've ever paid any fighter for a single fight, not including pay-per-view points, salary-wise. That's a ridiculous amount of money. On top of that, they tried to do Islam versus Ilya. They tried, and the fighters turned that down. Ilya blamed Islam, and then Ilya's manager Malky, exposed everything to them because Ilya, what did Ilya hold out for?
Ilya's the one that wanted more money.
Yeah. Ilya's the one who said no because he wanted more money. Yeah. So like, they tried to put together the biggest card they could put together. It kind of fell apart a little bit. And yes, you can blame the UFC being like, you should have spent more. They probably should have spent more. Like, sometimes you just got to write off a loss. You know what I mean? Like, you promised this was the biggest card. Like, you just have to eat the loss here and hope that all the goodwill you built with the fans and all the potentially new fans you brought in from this event translates into merch and views and whatever else down the line. But you turned down $15 million. It was your choice to turn it down. You can't now bitch about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt like I think he decided that, man, the dust is settled. I'm really not on this card. I wanted to be on this card. And he's having regret. He's having some regrets. And he just doesn't know what to do. He's like, shit, I'm really not on this card. And I turned down $15 million. You're on, like, you got to think about all the reasons as a fighter. When you look at, like, you like to play a little bit of hardball. I've done that a couple of times in some of my negotiations. And one time, though, I thought to myself, I can beat this guy. That's one. John's got to be thinking, I can beat Alex, take him down, submit him, ground and pound, whatever it is, control the top position. He's extremely biddable. The Tom Aspinall one I understood, but you got paid double. You were getting offered to pay double to fight Tom Aspinall. That's I think for a lot of people, they felt like that was a more dangerous fight. The UFC wanted that fight. Now you're coming back going, I was willing, ready, and able. The UFC's like, we don't need you on the card, though, John. We reached out to you because we wanted to have you on there versus Alex. It would have been great. Paying you, putting you on the White House card, giving you the platform that you want is doing you a favor, not doing us a favor. So now I'm putting you on this platform that you wanted. You said you would come back for, to fight the guy that you left and didn't want. And you argued like, I'm going to retire if I don't get to fight Alex. Yeah. Well, now we're going to give you that fight, but we're not going to give you the $30 million that you wanted to fight Tom Aspinall. We're going to give you. It
was also for 15. An interim title, not the undisputed title.
This one?
Yeah, because Tom's technically the champ.
Yeah, but then that puts you in line to fight.
I think
John is not going to fight Tom Aspinall anyways.
I was going to say, I bet that was part of the negotiation. Meaning, hey, we can't put you in this fight, and then you refuse to fight Tom Aspinall. Let's say you beat Alex Bejeda. You're the interim champ. You refuse to fight Tom Aspinall. Mm-hmm. We can't do that. We can't keep doing that.
I wonder if there was a stipulation that, like, we're going to pay you.
Keep talking.
I wonder if there's a stipulation if we're going to pay you $15 million and you need to fight. There's no P in my last name. Yeah. In the P, the P in Thompson is missing. You know where it is? Very funny. I feel like
his mother. Huh? It's in that guy's mother.
I feel like, thanks for sticking up for me, Edge. I appreciate that. I wonder if the UFC said, hey, we're going to go ahead and do this fight. You're going to pay you $15 million. He wanted more money. He's like, but what we're going to do is make it, if you don't fight, you got to either give us money back or something. Like, there's got to be something in there that made him not want to take that. where he just was like, no, I'm not fighting Tom Aspinall. He just wanted to go in there and fight Alex. Well, look, arguably,
they could have laid out the money in a way that was like, we'll give you this money, but you get the second half of it when you fight Tom. Like, who knows? There's a million circumstances. Because I also, what are you growling at? Stop it. I also, sorry, sometimes you just gotta yell at a dog. Sadie. I also, hold on. Sorry, it's 10:30 in the morning.
I love dogs, man. It doesn't bother me at all. I love dogs.
It's also, I don't necessarily think Dana's lying when Dana's like, we weren't truly 100% negotiating with Tom Jones or Jon Jones. Because if you're the UFC and you're sitting there, it's not just the money. You can't fully trust Jon Jones. He has broken multiple main events. They've had to move entire events. They've had to cancel entire events for him. He's got a wild past of arrests and legal issues. He refused to fight for over a year. Like, he has created multiple headaches for you. So when you're sitting there assessing, do I spend 15, 20, 30 million dollars? Am I positive this dude's going to show up? Am I positive that after this fight, he'll do what he's supposed to do? Or are you just going to hold us hostage again? Like, I could understand if the UFC wasn't, if they're like, Jon, this is the number, take it or leave it. We don't even want to be having this conversation right now anyway. Frankly, we don't trust you. If you want to take this, great. If not, forget it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was that. Like, we're all just like, oh, you didn't make it happen. It's like, how are we not mad at Jon for all the bullshit he's pulled?
No, I'm on your side, and I think you're on my side. We're both seeing it the same way. The UFC's not gaining any more viewership by having Jon Jones on there. And like I said, when the fight was announced, the White House card was announced, I said, we arguably got the better fight anyways in the heavyweight division. We got Alex versus Cyril Gane.
No, I would much rather, it's not even remotely close. I would much rather prefer Jon Jones versus Alex. Now, I want Alex to be. You
prefer it because of name value. You don't prefer it because of the actual fight. The fight itself is not going to be a better fight.
Oh, it might be.
You can't.
If Alex if Alex knocked out the greatest fighter of all time,
that is a big if. You know how, and if Jon puts him on his back in the first 10 seconds and submits him, you're going to be like, fuck, what a waste.
Then he lost to the greatest fighter of all time. It's not as big of a deal as losing to Cyril Gane.
Yeah, I don't know
if Jon loses the Cyril, if Alex loses the Cyril Gane, it's like, damn, dude, that sucks. If he loses to Jon, it's like, all right, well, he lost to the best fighter ever. Is what it is.
I get what you're saying, but we're getting a better, more action-packed fight. I think Jon takes him down at will and just dominates.
Cyril wrestles too.
Yeah, he could.
He's had multiple fights where he went in.
Yeah, he could. Wrestling. I just don't think he has the ability to hold Alex down, whereas Jon has the ability to do whatever the fuck he wants.
The problem is Cyril Gane's faster and more athletic than Jon Jones is.
Yeah.
So like that's actually the problem because Jon isn't who he used to be.
Jon's already fought Cyril.
No, I understand.
Okay.
But I'm saying for Alex, Cyril Gane is faster and more athletic than fighting Jon Jones.
True.
Jon Jones, you have to get inside that range without getting your knee exploded with one of those. What are those kicks called?
Calf kicks.
Oblique kick.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Where he just pushes at the knee. What is that
called? Oblique kicks.
What's the oblique?
Right at the front part of your thigh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like those, let me push your knee backwards kicks. Like you got to worry about that. You got to worry about a million things. With Cyril, he has to worry about just straight up speed and athleticism. Cyril's going to be the faster in that cage. Not even close.
Look, I did an interview with Brett Okamoto on Friday. It's going to drop tomorrow morning on the Weighing In channel, on the Weighing In YouTube channel, so you guys can check that out. But we talked extensively about the White House card and about, how we arguably got a better fight card. Brett's got some good knowledge on this and working for ESPN. And, kind of understood my takes, but he also had some of his own. So if you guys want to check that out tomorrow, it will drop first thing in the morning, I think 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern time. So check that out. But Angelo, I think you and I are on the same page. Jon, would you consider this fumbling the bag?
I don't have access to his bank accounts. I would, on the surface, say, yes, you fumbled a $15 million bag. Because I can understand him not taking the 30 for Tom, right? He's still holding out hope. We'll see what happens, whatever. You know what I mean? He's probably worried that he might lose that fight, and he is concerned about his legacy. $15 million to fight another older dude that you should be better than.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money he has or doesn't have, but I imagine he could use $15 million more dollars. Yeah. Because the issue with Jon Jones is again, I have no clue what his finances are, but because of all of his issues and because he's not in like great graces with the UFC, his ability to make money going forward is a little more limited than some of these other fighters, because he'll never be on a UFC broadcast as a commentator. He'll never, he's not going to have that post UFC career as others will. He's not a spokesperson for a major brand because he literally was arrested for beating his wife. Like, he has too many issues to rake in millions of dollars post career. And obviously he's made a ton of money. He must have invested it well because he's turning down giant paychecks, but he is very different than some of the other fighters who have had, like DC is set for life because DC will always have a job with the UFC. Always. Unless he gets caught doing some fucked up shit. He will always have a job with the UFC because he's likable. He was never controversial. He has that job. He's also coaching and running gyms, and like where Jon Jones is, the UFC is never going to pay him to do something other than fight. The fighting window is closing. He's going to be locked up legally until he's 55 years old. So I don't know what else he's going to do that he could just turn this money down, but apparently he can. So good for him and what he did to get here. Yeah,
I just think when he put out that tech or that X tweet, yeah, it really sounded.
I think they're still called tweets.
I think they are.
What do you say, X's?
Yeah, I know. I don't say. I just call them tweets. Yeah. When he put out that tweet, it basically just let me know that he's thinking to himself, because I've been through this, and I said,
"Shit,
you've looked at fights." Yeah, it's like, fuck. I could have. First off, the things that go through your mind, I could have beat him. That's one. The guy's very beatable. Same age.
He must have thought that after the Cyril Gane fight with Tom Aspinall.
With Tom Aspinall, right?
Obviously, there was the eye poke, but he was getting dotted up a little bit, and Jon Jones sitting there like, I would have smoked this guy.
Yeah, I would have beat him. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, first I would have beat him. Then I'm missing out on the 15, and I'm not fighting on the White House card with arguably probably the most views I'll ever get to build my brand. So, I mean, I'm estimating between, I'd say somewhere around 15 million people are going to watch this fight. Maybe up to 20. I doubt it. I think it's going to be more between the 12 to 15 million people will watch this fight.
We don't know if this won't be on CBS either. This might be on CBS.
They said, Dana had said a while back, or somebody from Paramount, I think, said a while back that it will be on Paramount.
It'll be both, because people were also shitting on the UFC 326, that 2-hour window, the views on CBS for that. But like, I watched it on Paramount. It was also simulcast on Paramount.
Yeah.
So everybody who has Paramount watched it on Paramount. The only people watching on CBS are probably new viewers.
Yeah, I didn't turn the channel and go to CBS just because I was already watching it on Paramount. I didn't do that. They were just they put it on CBS to get more people to watch.
Correct. So just people being like, oh, only 1.6 million or whatever.
That's not a lot, though.
It's not a lot, but that could be 1.6 million new people who were never going to watch. You know what I mean? Because everybody who was going to watch was already watching on Paramount.
This is going to be something we should do because, Angelo could sit on me. But this is something I know Angelo can't drive, so I would definitely win this. Josh and Andrew would win in an old school Mario Kart contest between you both.
It's an absurd take because Tiffany likes to bitch about my driving too, and I have to remind her constantly. I'm the only person in this neighborhood, and probably yours, actually, your buddy Big Mike there, that can parallel park.
I can parallel park for sure.
You can parallel park?
Yes,
I don't believe you for
100%. My wife cannot. My wife cannot.
One
fell swoop.
No stereotypes.
No stereotype. My wife's Chinese, by the way. She's Asian.
And a woman.
Yeah, and a woman, yeah. Parallel parking is not her business. No, but the good thing about it with my wife, when she knows she has a parallel park, she'll just look at me, she'll get out of the car. Yeah. And she'll just let me get in because I'll already park my car. We meet somewhere. She's got a parallel park somewhere. I'll park my car and I'll go and she'll just drive around until she finds a spot. And if it has to parallel, she'll wait for me or I'll jump in with her and then she'll find her spot and then I'll get out and parallel park.
Oh, I parallel parked with you when we went to the brewery. One shot too.
Oh yeah, you did.
I was like, you saw that, right? One shot.
Very impressive.
Oh, yeah, I remind everybody here. People like to bitch. I'm like, dude, you can't fucking parallel park. I don't. And that's a big ass truck on parallel parking.
It does not help your argument though when you literally back out of your driveway, hit just some random fucking car.
Why was that car blocking my driveway?
Why did you not see it? You have a backwards camera in your fucking vehicle.
Because
how do you not?
My car
your driveway was 25 feet. How did you not see it before you just ran right into the car that was blocking your driveway?
Who just diagonally blocks a stranger's driveway. Why would I have expected a car to be there? That's
was the
insane.
person? I have a question for you. Was the person that was driving that? They worked for Amazon, but were they Indian?
No, it was a young girl.
Oh, poor girl.
Yeah, it was a Tesla, so you would assume Indian, but no.
Yeah, but I've noticed.
And the crazy part is, so I yelled to her because she was at the corner.
Mm-hmm.
She parked straight across my driveway, blocked the whole thing, and then was delivering packages, not to me. I didn't have a pack. Every other house on the street, because I live in a cul-de-sac, there's like 4 houses deep on each side. And she was all the way in the cul-de-sac. And I said, hey, I hit your car. And she goes, what? I'll move it. And she's walking back. I'm like, no, I hit it. And she goes, what? She comes over. She goes, I can't believe this happened again. And I was like, what? This happened already? She's like, somebody hit my mirror. I was like, because you parked like this? She was like, yeah. I was like,
yeah, you might want to get that fixed. Stop parking like
I'm
this.
not trying to be rude, but like,
why are you blocking people's driveways?
And if you want to block my driveway because you're delivering a package to me, I would have seen you walking. You're blocking my driveway to deliver a package 4 houses down. What's happening?
I'm not sure if you would have.
So of course it's on me and my insurance paid. It was my fault. But like, I am not assuming my driveway's blocked. I'm just getting the car and I back up. And then once I hit the street, I look real quick. And my car does have the backup camera, but I'm not looking at that. And it
why are you not looking at that? Backing into the road. Why are you not looking at that?
I stop at the road. She was like half on my driveway, like actually wheels touching my property. Actually, well, the first 10 feet's not yours, but you get my point.
Yeah.
And my car doesn't beep. The seat vibrates. So it's like, I don't feel that.
Why do you not feel that, Ange? How come you don't feel the seat vibrate?
I'm very dense. Very dense.
Are you just used to that vibrating feeling against your ass?
It's not like it's a rumble.
It's so you're used to the rumble feeling, the vibration between your ass. You're used to that feeling.
Anyway, I can parallel park and you can't, so you can't talk shit.
I can parallel park for sure. Where the fuck
it.
did we get all? Where were we going with this?
I have no. You said your wife was Chinese, and then we started talking about parking.
Oh no, because look, I asked if it was an Indian person, because I've noticed though that people in my community, we've got a Indian population in our community, but they have a tendency sometimes to be in their car and just park right in front of my driveway.
At least they're in it.
Yeah, they were in it.
This woman abandoned the car,
but they just park right in front of my driveway. And I'm like, hey, I was like, well, what's going on? I got to get out. And they're like, oh, sorry. But they're on their phone. They're just on their phone. Either they're getting directions or they're texting somebody, but they pull over, but they block my driveway. And they've done it probably 3 or 4 times. One time it was the same person. I'm like, stop blocking my driveway. Stop.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else, man?
I don't think so. Leon Edwards' brother got
did you watch that fight?
No, I saw the clip of the softest elbow in the world, making him go limp.
Yeah.
And was he getting his ass kicked before that?
It was good. It was a close fight. I had Costello winning the fight, but it was a close fight. Look, he's very good on the feet. He's explosive on the feet. He's got some wrestling, huh?
Is he chinny? Did that elbow hit the temple?
He got knocked out by Johnny Eblin, and he got knocked out in this fight here. But he's only got 3 losses, I think. This is his 3rd.
But that didn't. I guess my thing is not that he got finished with elbows while in a takedown, because we watched that happen to Charlton Almeida. We watched it happen to Ronda Rousey's husband. No, Ronda Rousey's husband did it
to Verdum, I believe. Right?
Yeah, somebody. Yeah. It just seemed like it was not hard elbows. That's what I was like. Oh, what led to this? That these soft elbows made him limp.
No, look, when you hit just behind the ear, you don't need. And the other thing too is, I think what people think that they have to be hard. If you do a bunch of little small ones, it's as if it's like one big shot. So if you do a bunch of little small ones right behind the ear, connect at the ear, and I saw a lot of people replying going, "Oh, those were all illegal." No, they were not illegal.
You're actually part of the ear,
and no, actually, it doesn't have to touch the ear. It does not have to touch the ear. You can actually hit right behind the ear. And as long as it's within like a certain range of the ear, that's it. And so all those elbows were legal. They were all legal. And the way that he did it was he wasn't loading up and hitting them. He was just hitting them real small and tight. And it caused the damage. He was out. He was out after like the 3rd one.
Oh,
they were so fast, so quick.
I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Look, Costello Vanstinas has been one of my favorite fighters for a long time. Long time. He's got that scar on his cheek that makes him look like one of those movie villains. And he's got a scar on his cheek, almost like Alisher Overeem. He's got a scar on his cheek and makes him look like a movie villain. He's just a really cool guy, really, really nice guy. Great fighter, man. Very entertaining. He's the guy that kind of throws caution in the wind, doesn't fight safe at all. No fight. Like his fight IQ is good. He just chooses not to use it all the time.
Who was supposed to win that fight? Was he supposed
Costello
to win
was
that
the
fight?
champ. Costello was the champ.
And the favorite?
He was favored. He's already beat Fabian one time in a decision. I believe it was a split decision. And then Johnny Eblen fights next week to see if he can fight against Costello Vanstinas in a rematch where he lost his title to Costello. That division is a very good division. You got Dalton Rasta, you got Fabian Edwards, you got Costello Vanstinas. You've got some good fighters in Johnny Eblen.
PFL
obviously
just does a shit job marketing themselves. They need a new marketing team. It's crazy.
Yeah. But
you don't even know when it's on. I don't even know when it's on. And I'm in the States. I have no idea when this shit's on.
Yeah, I clicked on it. It was on Friday at noon. So I get by 3 o'clock.
You got all your Middle East money. Like, fine, it is what it is. But tell us when it's on.
Yeah, spend more money on the marketing advertisement to let us know when the show's going to happen.
I don't know when this shit's on. Like,
yeah,
ever.
Yeah. You know, I have a question. Do you have a little bit more time?
Yeah.
10 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. Because I asked Brett Alcamoto this yesterday or on Friday, and I said, has media spent too much time talking about the business and not enough time talking about the fights? Is that hurting the business? Is that hurting what the sport these days? Is it hindering the growth? Because every time I click on, whether it's Ariel, whether it's Luke, whether it's even sometimes myself, like we spend a lot of time talking about the business and less time talking about the actual matchups and the fighters.
I don't know. I think also saying media is tricky because what are you reporting on? They announce a fight and then you say this fight's announced. That's the media. Like there's no, what was nice when the UFC was on ESPN is Sports Center would give it a little more attention. And everything that's happening, like obviously March Madness is crazy and stuff like that. But this summer, in the dead of summer, when nothing else is on, there's no other sports, right? NHL is over. The NBA is over. Baseball regular season, nobody gives a shit about. Mm-hmm. You're done with the NFL draft. There's nothing in the middle of the summer. Nothing. There should be the same level of attention that they give all these other sports where they'll sit around and just talk about them and debate it and do a show like we do. That should be happening on ESPN, on Fox Sports, where they're sitting there debating fights that are coming up and having the same conversations that like we have. But none of that happens. There is no MMA media. There's websites reporting on news. That's it. Like the UFC announced this, so now I'm going to announce it, but in writing with a picture and for the clicks. And then some of those websites have actual YouTube channels, but there's no dedication from traditional media outlets like Fox Sports or ESPN or even radio, like local radio, where people will sit down and do what you do, or me and you, or me and Jacob, where we talk about the fights, who we think wins, and argue about it. But they'll sit there for 3.5 hours in July and debate what an NFL team is going to look like in a preseason game that's not for 2 more months.
Yeah.
I think that's the letdown with the quote unquote media, is the traditional media, not the MMA media, because there's no such thing as MMA media. You're just regurgitating stuff that's been told to you by the UFC that they wanted out. Traditional media, not treating this like a regular sport when it's the only sport that's on in the dead of summer. That's really where I feel like it's a big letdown.
Yeah. I just feel like the media has started, they go real negative on the business side of it, or they talk too much about the business side of it, and they've stopped talking about the actual matchups and the fighters themselves and what they bring to the table and their ability. Like, back when it was, and I bring up Strikeforce because during that time it was about building fighters. Strikeforce had to build up fighters. I remember doing bits. Like Luke Rockhold did a whole like little intro for his fight with him with his surfboard and talking about how his brother was a pro surfer, and then it got people to know him. Daniel Cormier, talked about like his daughter.
Pro surfer brother, dated Demi Lovato. Is his brother good looking too?
I bet he was when he was younger. I mean, he's a little bit older now. He's like probably in his 50s. He's more
genes in that family.
Yeah, I think his dad was a pro beach volleyball player. I think his dad was.
Christ, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
some
a little jealous, aren't you?
Yes.
And you got stuck with 4 chins and 6
temples. Well, I can fix that with a couple of sit-ups. But he just genetically.
A couple sit-ups
a day.
Really? Oh. I don't know. what, 15 years?
You got to start somewhere.
I'm on this kick, man. I'm on this kick of, trying to get healthy, trying to, I did the stem cells. And then, I mean, have you looked into any like peptide stuff?
No. And I'm not going to do it. First of all, I'm not big enough to get on the shot. I'm not going to do the shot.
What's the shot?
Like Ozempic and all that fucking shit.
Oh no, you're not that. No, you're not that. You're not big like that.
No, I know.
You do, but look, as much as I like to flip you shit, I'm gonna give you a little bit of love, bro. You do have more of an athletic body for being such a big
I carry the weight well, but I'm fucking big. I need to lose weight.
You are big.
Like 100% need to lose weight. I do carry it well, but I do need to lose it. No, I debated TRT, but I'm worried. Like I'm struggling. I'm fighting for my life up here. I'm worried the rest is gone. Like TRT.
What about growth hormone? I heard growth hormone's good for your your hair and your skin. You can also do if you want to grow some hair up there. Like I did stem cells for my hair because I had all these scars from the Tony Ferguson fight. I mean, I had 48
stitches.
If it's a
scar, then everything's closed up. Stem cells.
No, the stem cells goes into the scar and starts to like regenerate hair growth in that area.
Really?
So, and I've noticed that since the month and it's been a little about 5 weeks, 6 weeks since I went. My hair's gotten a little bit thicker.
Really? I'm also I should take the pregnancy pills. I think those like really help your hair. I think estrogen like really helps your hair.
What the hell?
That's
are
the
you
problem.
Talking about what?
TRT destroys your hair because testosterone pushes it out.
Oh,
we're like, what are those? What are the vitamins? Prenatal vitamins are like phenomenal. God. Prenatal vitamins are supposed to be like phenomenal for your hair and your nails and your skin. I don't know. I mean,
that's a little sketch, bro.
I'm also very anti.
All of a sudden, you got titties.
I'm not gonna say anti-medicine because I'm not anti-medicine, and my kids they didn't get the COVID vaccine or anything, but they have their regular vaccines. But I am not so willing to just throw shit in my body left and right. Like I'll throw the chemicals that make Doritos red in there, no problem. But not if it's in pill form, not happening. Not doing it if it's in a pill form.
You fucking the red dye, the one they're outlawing across the country.
Tiffany's on that kick. Dude, Tiffany went to my media room, which is fucking loaded with candy. And we don't really let the kids have candy. Like if we do family movie night, you can grab a bottle. Tiffany was like, no more nerds, no more this. Like she saw some shit about the chemicals in food. And our food has been very bland since.
It says, Birdie Golf TV Canada, how did the stem cells work? They worked great, you guys. I did a full video. I interviewed one of the owners. It's on my YouTube channel. You guys can check it out. We break it down. They're doing a lot of new things. Basically, I actually asked about stem cells for the brain, and they've got a new doctor that they're working with about how they can inject the stem cells into your jugular, basically, and get it up into your brain.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
I'm not going to Mexico to get a needle shoved into my jugular. Dude.
Yeah, well,
no way.
Yeah, you can fix that brain, buddy. Fix that brain.
No way. If
there's that, there's a ton of new work that they're doing for cancer patients. So, hey guys, check out that video down below. Remember, tomorrow morning, hit the thumbs up and the bell for notifications. You guys, I got that video dropping with Brett Okamoto tomorrow. Great. It's about an hour-long video. Great video. Had a great time. So check that out. And guys, thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Sunday mornings, we'll be doing these every time there's fights. And we'll probably do them regardless. Talk about fight stuff so we can.
I probably can't Easter Sunday.
Well, yeah, probably not at church.
Easter Saturday fights is crazy. They don't typically do that.
Oh, is it really? When is that fight? Who is that? Is that next week? 2 weeks.
Next weekend is Easter Saturday. Not this coming weekend. Depends what day of the week you start. UFC Seattle is in 6 days. So in 7 + 6 days.
Got it. 11 days.
Easter Saturday.
13 days.
Dumbass.
Did I say 11? I said 11. Yeah. Fucking retard. All right, guys, man. We're out of here, man. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. Have a safe Sunday. Do not drink and drive. And thanks for tuning in, man. We appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. We're out.